Hi, and welcome back to the Film and TV channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. And yes, I did warn you a couple of documentaries ago doing these reviews. It could be before this, could be out before the other one. I don't know, but we had a couple of documentaries coming up on BBC Two, and this is another one we're looking at today. House of Maxwell. Yeah, nothing to do with coffee. Don't get me wrong on that. And it's just a mini episode, mini series documentary. 3 58-minute episodes on BBC Two. It started on the 5th of April 2022. And of course, you know me, I binge watched it on iPlayer. So check your territory if you're outside of the UK to make sure you're at BBC America, or which the equivalent is in New Zealand, Australia. If you're watching it from there, just check where you can access these BBC documentaries and dramas. But this is a documentary today. And of course, it's Maxwell, isn't it? It's, I perhaps don't have to say too much. You probably know anyway. One family, 50 years of scandal. Is that all? The rise and fall of a media mogul and the unravelling of his deeply troubled family, especially a staggering tale of money, sex, privacy and power. This docu-series, what it's called, draws a thread from the corrupt business practices of Robert Maxwell, of course, the old magnate, TV, paper magnate, whatever he was, to the conviction last year. Yeah, one I know less about. I know more about the Robert Maxwell thing, of course, living through it many years ago. But to the conviction last year of his daughter, Ghislaine, which I didn't really know a lot about. So certainly as you're looking through this, it's very interesting if you don't know much of the story, which I didn't. Not many critics out there. The Guardian liked it, though. They gave it 4 stars out of 5 and said this confidently told documentary on Robert and Ghislaine Maxwell's relationship feels like HBO drama Succession. I've never seen that, guys. I mean, if you've watched Succession, I might have to try and get a watch of that at some stage. But as these things get further along the line, I find more things to watch in the meantime. So, yeah, it feels like HBO drama Succession at times, say The Guardian, but far grislier. There you go. So you'll have an idea if you watch Succession. So, yeah, as I said, that's about it. There's no Internet Movie Database scores or anything like that. As I said, I was actively interested in Robert Maxwell and Sons, of course, at the time. I was probably more interested in politics then and this sort of thing than I certainly am now. In all fairness, I have other things now. I try and do as many cheerful things as I can now, and I find politics very boring and not nice. So I tend not to do too much about it. But obviously, things like this, Robert Maxwell, obviously certainly interested me at the time. This sort of thing would interest me now, although, as I said, I didn't know too much about Ghislaine and what went on with that. But obviously, as soon as you start mentioning Prince Andrew and obviously the other characters in this, if you can call them characters, these sordid characters, then I sort of remember things that I've read or watched on the news. Lots of archival footage you'd expect. Much of it we've never seen before. But I mean, this is a long time ago, so a lot of it I couldn't have remembered watching anyway. So it's great to look back and just put your own memories to it as well, which you can. You know, certain dates, you can put all your memories to it. And all the people involved. There's lots of interviews with people. Is there any of the whether the obviously like anything? I mean, one person's truth isn't always correct, is it? They might make things sound a bit better or a bit worse than they actually were. But you have to take it at face value when people are being interviewed. And of course, there's lots of background and the developing stories of which Robert Maxwell was just the tip of a sordid iceberg. Yes, if you do binge watch it, it does sort of go over, say 2 or 3 minutes of perhaps a previous episode and stuff like that. So you're watching things you've already done. So if you've not binge watched like I do, it'll be a reminder. If you binge watched, it can be annoying. But I said that's me. That's nothing to do with that. And the only other thing I found a little bit disconcerting it's not sort of told in chronological order, in regimented sequence, I'd call it. It's not told like that. You do flip from time zones and you have to be watching properly. I mean, sometimes if you're distracted, it'll say come up on the screen. It comes up on the screen for a while, so as long as you're not distracted for too long, it might say 2 years earlier, stuff like that. And yeah, sometimes it works, but a lot of the time I found it a little bit annoying. I wouldn't have minded a more. I could see the point for effect, but I wouldn't have minded and see the point for the story as well. It does work. It should work with it, but I think they just do it a little bit too much for it to be. I'm fully convinced with it or fully enjoy it. It doesn't ruin it. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't ruin it anything. It's just a small quibble that, you know, if you do get a bit, you know, if you do tend to listen to things rather than watch, just be very, very careful, because I do try and watch to key things. But if something goes quiet, I tend to look at the screen just to see what's going on. But yeah, as I said, a small quibble in a very, very good mini-series documentary. And the time flew as well. Obviously, it was 3 almost hour episodes, and they just flew past each one. So that tells you that it's probably a good watch as well. And it's also good if you know the stories or you don't. If you don't know anything about the Maxwells, you don't know anything about it. Certainly, I mean, a lot of you that are watching there probably were far too young to know about Robert Maxwell, and obviously you probably know more about his daughter. But obviously, either way, if you don't know too much about it, it's a good watch whether you know about it or not. So I am going to give it a little nice 6.5 out of 10, which is my very watchable score. As I say, excellent docuseries. Again, certain people's viewpoints, and it's the sort of thing you go and personally, I'll go and read up a little bit more on as well, especially Ghislaine, that I don't know that much about. So I will go away and read up as well. So that's, if something does that for you, then it's probably succeeded anyway, you know, because I like to sort of fill in certain gaps and make my own judgments as well. So let me know, guys, if you get to watch this, if you like it as well. But thanks for joining this little look at a documentary. Yes, The House of Maxwell. And say, don't be confused by the coffee. I was looking for some images and I kept getting jars of coffee, but it's not very good, is it? Leave me comments, guys. Anyway, let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please, whatever you do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on a film and TV channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.